Hi, and welcome to Syrup Shots Gaming. I'm Tyler, and with me this week is Dave, aka Coach.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
It's going all right.
It is going all right. So, I have to say, I'm very proud of our Rocket League team this year for the rookie season. As much as disappointed as they were, we got to the Elite Eight of the Central Time Zone region, which is out of over 420 teams, and we came in sixth place. And I know they were disappointed because they wanted to win, but I'm like, guys, on your rookie year, getting to sixth place is amazing.
Yeah, six
Especially
out of 420, right?
Over 420.
So they're in the top 2%.
Oh yeah, they're like in the top 1.5%. So that's amazing. And considering that we had no budget for this, we basically did it on our own free time. It's just the school was like aware of us. But now, hopefully, with all of the publicity we're going to get from this, we can probably be like, hey, we could probably do a lot better if we threw some money at this,
Mm-hmm.
because I know they want to get the kids like a dedicated space, and also they don't want the students to bring in their own like game consoles and stuff to school. So they really want to, set up like a computer lab specifically for it with like some school-owned gaming consoles. So, which we do have, but again, because COVID and us being on the hybrid model where students could be there or stay at home, they really haven't been put to good use.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you can leverage this for the school to get some like PS5s or Series X's.
We'll see about that. The problem is, the probably will be is that I imagine, they'll want us to use these Xbox One S's, and until it is affordable for the school to buy a Series X or a PS5,
Or even a Series S.
Yeah, and then even then they'll probably be like, "Oh, well, now we don't care what happens to this one," and that's when I swoop in. Because we have a ton of CRT TVs in that building, and they are just they. It's like they don't want to just throw them away, but they haven't found like a mass electronics recycler. So I was like looking at one that was actually pretty nice, for classic gaming, and he's just like, I'm getting to the point I want to just throw that away, and I'm like, yeah, we need to figure out someone who can recycle these. And I'm like, well, I can recycle one of these. Dave, you could use this. These are the best for playing the old game consoles on. How many TVs that are modern do you know that still have a red, a white, and a yellow plug in the back? Oh, good point.
Actually, you know who would probably buy them all up? Look for a Smash Bros. Tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Get like a Melee tournament, like Evo or anything. They probably would love them.
Oh, they probably would. We also have a ton, and I guess they did this, like our high school did this too, especially I think in middle school, but they put like a big screen TV in every classroom, but they like suspended it from the ceiling. But we're talking big screens, the classic styles. The school that I work at did the same, but a bit smaller size, I'd say.
Like
a bit bigger than an
inch?
old. What? Yeah,
like 32
inches. Yeah, but they're all Magnavoxes, and they all look. By now, they look very dated. So I want to do. We had a arcade bar here for a while that. Like one of the things they did was they literally stacked a bunch of CRTs on top of each other in different ways and just turned them on and let the static play and stuff. And I'm like, that would be kind of cool, actually. Looked like Joker's lair from Arkham Origins.
Nice.
Oh.
So Interesting thing in our area, we actually got an esports arena and bar.
Oh, wow, cool.
So I'm thinking I'm going to check that out one day because I'm not going to pay their prices because I have a computer, I have consoles, I don't need to pay to go play them.
Hmm. Hmm.
But evidently they are going to do some volunteer work with the schools as well to like host competitions in the area.
Oh wow, I'm
Um,
surprised. I'm surprised a bar would actually try that, but then
so
again,
here's how they're getting away with that. It's actually three businesses put together: a restaurant, a bar, and the esports arena. So they're each technically can be separated out, but there's like a patio area that connects all of them.
oh, I see. Okay, that's kind of cool. I mean, in some areas though, it can also be a little different. Like they have those, like like a Dave and Buster's is clearly designed for kids at
Mm-hmm.
times, but then it's just kind of like as soon as it hit 9 o'clock, anyone 18 and under out.
Out.
Because what we've had like two bachelor parties there, and so as soon as 9 o'clock hit, it's just like uh,
Yeah.
I don't- we had an
Um,
awesome one at Chris's bachelor party though, because when 9 o'clock hit though, a family walked up to me and Phil. They had two kids, and they're just like, "Hey, you guys want these?" And they had the cards that you had to swipe for the arcade games. And they said, "We bought unlimited play, and so it only works on games that don't do tickets. So you can play as much as the regular
hmm.
arcade games you want, just not any ticket games." And we were just like, "Yes." So, then all the money went to plying ourselves and Chris with booze that night. So, we just had a good old time. And finally, we got him this like, it was a weird, like, horror shooter game. It was like a 4D experience because, like a ghoul would like
Oh,
get up in your face and scream at you, and then like an air would blast you in the face.
oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like the seat would rumble and the guns would jerk around and stuff. And so, we just sat in that and played through till the end because we had basically unlimited quarters on that thing. And then come to find out they have a secret ending on that. So we got the bad ending, but we didn't want to go back and play through again to try and get the good
Good
ending. So we
ending.
just yep. Okay, we'll YouTube this. We don't care. And it's an arcade game.
Yeah, I mean that's the right way to go about it.
Yeah. It was basically like a House of the Dead, but I don't think it was made by Sega. So, but it was fun.
I vaguely remember this game. I don't remember what it was, but I remember it wasn't an unknown name, but I just don't remember what it was.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up, because but I want to say you're right too. But it was like one of those arcade spin-offs of like a known property that's like also at the same time. It's just like, wow, this is the Survivor series to the actual Resident Evil series.
Yeah.
Uh,
The I can't believe it's not butter.
exactly, the great value version of.
Yeah. Now, speaking of House of the Dead, did you see that they're actually remaking the first game?
Really?
Yep, and it's
What
coming to
for?
consoles.
Oh, that'll be great.
And it will
Just
support light guns. There's like a light gun you can get
nice.
for it.
Because if I recall, the original has been stuck to arcades, of course, and Sega Saturn. And as I've
Hmm.
mentioned before, Sega Saturn, there's a reason that there have been no ports of those games. They all have to be remakes. It's actually really interesting if we want to dive into that. It's both a very simple answer, but because they did this, it made it more complicated.
See,
So,
I don't think I know this. So what's the background?
oh, okay. So here's the thing. Uh, when they made the transition from 2D to 3D, basically the game companies had a decision to make. What shape do we base our models off of? Sony and Nintendo chose triangles because even though you can, it'll take maybe a little more. You can then get a bit more options out of it using a triangle. And you can also alter triangles to, make a square. So you can put like, two together and, then you got a square.
Yeah.
Sega used quadrilaterals, so four-sided shapes. So even if, and this is fascinating to me, so even if there was times though where there's like a triangle on screen, they basically had to go into the code in the math and tell that one side's like angle was 0. It had a value of 0. So that's complicating all of the code because it's thinking each polygon up there has 4 sides, even though, but what this also has done though is so when they tried to make like, Tomb Raider for it and then patch it over to PlayStation, they were having so many problems because I think they were designing it with the PlayStation in mind, but then like Sega paid to have like a year exclusivity. But because all of the polygons are triangles in the PlayStation version, all of the surfaces, the maps that they put on there to say this triangle is filled with this texture, they're expecting a triangle, and then so throwing in a map that's designed for a 3-sided space into one that is technically 4-sided, even though one is 0, it flips out. And so the textures go everywhere. And so the real hard part then comes, apparently I think you can design, triangles to go to 4-dimensional, but you can't really do it the other way around without having to really get into the code and and fixing everything
Essentially you're remaking the game at that point.
Exactly. So that's why I guess finally why now they're like, yeah, okay, let's remake this. So like Panzer Dragoon and House of the Dead, because all of those games were stuck like that. So that's why the Saturn is kind of fascinating to me, and that's also why we have never had any ports of those games, because of that just simple decision. We're going to use squares instead of triangles.
But Dave, how am I going to get my Sonic 3D Blast on?
Oh, just play the Genesis version. It could handle 2D just fine. It was the 3D part that was the hard part. So that's why, it could get Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It could get Sonic 3D Blast, which the only thing that was improved on that, because that really was like a 2D game. It just
it was isometric.
An overhead view. Yeah. So they they're able to get around that with 3D, but it just upped kind of the graphics and the backgrounds a bit, if I recall. Yeah,
I remember it not being a great game.
Yeah. Find the flickies. What's a flicky? It's a little bird. Oh, why am I doing this?
Yeah, at the same time, we're like, find the Jingos and Banjo-Kazooie? Okay.
Oh, yeah. But that's because you needed to make the Jinjonator so you could battle the final boss.
Jinjos, that's right. It was Jiggies and Jinjos. Yeah.
Jiggy, you tried to say them at the same time. That's what happened.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So
Jingos are the hip 1980s street versions of Jinjos.
Or either that or a mispronunciation of Jinkos, which, kids, if you're watching, Jinkos are a terrible life decision I once made.
And it should stay in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Fun fact, some military people use them as actual parachutes.
Yes, they do. Oh, wow.
So I want to kind of breach into what I've been playing / kind of a controversy that is the dumbest controversy on the planet.
Okay, cool. Okay. I'm up for dumb controversies.
All right. I have been playing the beta of Guilty Gear Strive that's come out this weekend.
Okay.
This beta, the big difference is they redid the online lobby and added 2 more characters. They added Anji, and Ino, or Ino, however you
Oh,
pronounce that.
familiar with one of those characters. Yeah, because
Anji's the
Eno's
guy. Yeah, Ino's the time traveling witch.
yeah with the guitar, right?
Yep, and
Yep,
she is the
yep.
controversy.
Okay.
So I love her new look. She has a really cool new look. Um,
Hmm.
Now, kids, safe search on if you want to see the old look, but basically it was just a halter top that just covered certain aspects of the female torso,
There was a lot of double stick tape involved.
but it wasn't that great of tape because her ending pose was she would turn away from the camera and rip the jacket off, so she was shirtless. Okay?
Yeah, yes, I remember that. Yes.
Okay. That's the controversy because the new costume is she's got this like black brassiere thing with a red shoulder jacket on, and it looks really cool.
Mhm.
It's bad. It's really
I
cool
guess.
looking. But people are
Hmm.
upset because she's not going topless when she turns around now. She still has the black.
This is like the opposite of the conversation we had last week. Yeah, now they're angry that their sexy character is not doing the over the top sexy move.
Hmm.
It's because the 3D modders are upset that they can't then turn the camera around when they like try and boundary break the game.
Right.
uh, uh, your sexy character is being too sexy. Your sexy character is not being sexy enough. I hate you all.
Well, and
Oh, I can never understand which direction the internet hive mind will go. I can usually think of like, oh, it could go this way, it could go this way, and then no, it's boom, right through on an ice cream truck with like rocket ships coming out the back with the big middle finger. Nope, it's this. Oh, that was option three that I did not expect at all.
and it's fascinating too because there was another female character that there was a little hubbub about, but I didn't pay much attention
Mhm.
to. The character's name is May. She's known for fighting with a giant anchor.
Oh yeah, yeah, the pirate.
Yeah, they aged her up.
Oh, who cares?
Well, now you don't have internet, you know, terrible degenerates thirsting over a little girl anymore, which is good.
Yeah, yeah,
But some like, oh, that's not the character I remember. Cool. It's the new game in the series. It's gonna be
yeah.
different.
Yeah, exactly. And I believe the creators or the company that owns it can have a right to change their character. They did the same thing with the Dead or Alive girls like a couple years ago. Because like in the first game, like they made them like 16,
Mhm.
and so people are like, oh, that's terrible. You're over sexualizing a 16-year-old girl. And so then like in every subsequent like re-release, or remake of the first and second game, they're just like age, girls don't like to talk about their age. And then when it got to like 3 and 4, which are supposed to be like a year or two later, then it's just like 18, you know solidly hit that. But it's also one of those things. I'm just sitting there, I, let me search. This might be a risky search, but I think it's just might be one of the cultural differences from us and Japan. Because
Mhm.
I and it's just kind of like how different states do this too. The age of consent in some states is like 17, whereas in others it's like 18. And then so here, let me.
Well, while you're looking that up there, this kind of follows a trend of fighting games that I have been appreciative of is they are maturing as their series get older, and by maturing I don't mean
What? No. No.
uh-oh.
No. Oh. Oh. Wow.
All right, Dave, tell us the bad
Wow.
news.
Uh, top of the results 13 is the age of consent in Japan. So, wow. That's something.
Yeesh.
Yeesh. That explains a good bit, actually.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, we're gonna dodge that.
yeah. But what I was saying was, I've actually appreciated how fighting games have been maturing, and by maturing, I don't mean making more sexual content, but
Mhm.
actually decreasing the over sexualization to make them more human looking. A great example of that is the Mortal Kombat series. Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat 9, Sonya Blade looks way different than new Sonya Blade.
Mhm.
Uh, Katana no longer looks like a stripper. She looks like she actually has like
Is a,
armored.
mhm.
You know, it,
And there's still, and I'll admit to being a full warm blooded male at times. So but then it's just like there's games specifically designed for that. So it's just like, oh, okay, I can go to Dead or Alive, and
right.
it's fine that some games want to grow up. Mortal Kombat really, between 9, 10, and 11, they're just kind of like, we are kind of alienating, a significant half of the population who actually likes this series. So but I think also they've had like a good balance. Like in 11, I will say there are costumes that they're not the overtly revealing, but they're still it's just like wow, And
Yeah.
I think that to me is even that's an art in itself. Like how can you make, let's make a costume that can make people babble and drool, while they see it, but at the same time without showing any skin, really. So,
Yeah.
and they've kind of done that. They really have.
Yeah. That you don't have to do. What was the Melina costume in Mortal Kombat 9?
The rags, basically
Yeah.
the
Yeah. It wasn't
really
dead.
crappy attempt at mummy cosplay.
Yeah. Yeah. The used Band Aid cosplay.
Yes, yes, yes. We're gonna go with the rubber band and the gum wrapper. Yeah.
Yep. Sounds about
Yep.
right.
Yep.
They just MacGyvered that costume.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I appreciate how they are still sexy characters when they need or want to be, but they
Hmm.
don't have to be unrealistic. They can do it
Yeah.
in a more mature and professional way.
Hmm.
I guess is the best way I can put it.
Yeah, and then also that's like sometimes like games would put a character in like a revealing outfit, and you would just sit there and like, I don't think this kind of character would wear that. But then again, and sometimes it's kind of like, but then again, as a fictional character, who cares? You know. So like
Hmm.
there were times when it's just like in Mortal Kombat 3 when Sindel, is Kitana's mom. Now at the time, because I was in 5th grade and didn't know any better, but now it's just kind of like, uh,
Say what now?
how much older is Sindel supposed to be to Katana? And she's supposed to be a queen. Now I get it; she's been brainwashed by like Shao Kahn and stuff like. So maybe that influence is influencing her outfit, but now they've got her looking much. They got her looking more dignified and kind of mature and regal, and have kind of upped the outfit to do that a bit as well. It's not like the one piece swimsuit anymore.
Right. I had always chalked it up to Adinians aging differently.
They hadn't put that much thought into world building. Yay! Uh,
But yeah,
so
that's my big gaming gripe is
I
the
get you. I've
internet.
got Yeah, again, the internet outrage machine, you never know what it's going to do. And sometimes outrage is warranted, but at other times it's just like, what is your problem? Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess my minor gaming gripe, I'm hoping now this is both a double edged sword because I'm sad to say it made me think this, but at the same time what is happening, and it doesn't help that a commercial of it is coming on right now. But classic gaming collecting has skyrocketed as quarantine was up, and so
Hmm.
that has also made prices on the aftermarket through the roof in some games. So one of my local used game stores, they use that price charting website that keeps track of all like eBay sales and other sales for what the average price of a used game is going to be. But they also keep track of condition, like is it just a used with a disc or is it fully complete, things like that. And just prices
Hmm.
have been going up, up, up. And what is going on though, some of the hobbies that people have picked up during quarantine are now, well, now that they can go outside and if they've been vaccinated, just this week the CDC said, hey, you don't have to wear a mask anymore, you can go outside, do this. Basically things are starting to get slowly back to normal, and I put air quotes around that because I think hopefully we'll still at least keep some things that are a bit more common sense.
Yeah.
um, but one of the bad things that disappointed me to hear, though, was a lot of people adopted pets during quarantine. And now that they're not home, they're going back to work. A lot of them are being returned. And I first was just kind of like, that's so depressing because I'm looking forward. I want to get a puppy, possibly two, so the one isn't lonely when I go
Hmm.
back to work in the fall. But I wanted to wait till summer so that way I could actually spend time with it and teach, okay, let's not piss on the carpet, oh, we're going to have to
Right.
bleep that,
Right.
sorry. Potty train it and, keep it, you could go in this room, let's not go in this room, and figure things out like that. So that would give me a solid, probably about 2.5 months to get that done. And then hopefully it'll be better when school starts up again and I can hopefully leave it at home by itself and not have to worry about things so much. So I felt bad about that. I'm just like, oh no, don't send the doggies back. They didn't do nothing. But at the same time, I have seen a couple articles crop up though that because game prices have risen up so much though, with people going back and now doing the hobbies they had that they didn't used to be able to do, are we going to see an influx of stuff going back into the market and hopefully prices get back down to where they were pre-COVID? So, I did start to see that trend, and I hate to think that it's just like, no, the puppies are getting put back in the in the kennel, but it's like, but then the games, are they coming back to the market?
So I think it's okay to feel both ways there because gaming is a hobby. A puppy is not a hobby. It's part of your family. You don't give back
Yeah.
a part of your family. That is
But unfortunately, we do have some idiots who feel that way. I'm not one of them. I think one of the hardest days in my life was when I had to interview for my current job. The day before, our family dog that we had had since I was 19 years old, because we didn't get a dog until I was 19 and in my first year of college. That was when my mom was finally like, okay, one of the boys will be home at different times of the day. It won't be alone all by itself all the time. So she let my dad get a dog because he was the one who wanted one mostly. And he passed the day before the interview. And
oof.
I was gone for the since I got home from my job, I was I was inconsolable. And uh I think my parents had made like breakfast food for dinner. So mom's just like, yeah, why don't you sit down and have some and I probably said a few not so nice words. And I just like went in my room and cried for an hour. I felt so bad. So don't give, if you're gonna get it, you don't treat it like an item. It's not an object. It is, it's your little guy or girl. You know, treat it like that.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
me and my wife have two dogs, and they are our fur babies. You know.
yeah. Uh huh.
Uh, I'll censor this, but despite how much of they are fur babies.
Oh, don't worry, Freddie. Freddie was a pain in the butt, but he was our pain in the butt. So,
Although
Freddie, wherever you are.
up there playing with, you know what? Finally met Gracie.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh, Gracie lived a long time too. Wow.
she did, yeah. Um,
Mm-hmm. Okay. This is a gaming podcast, though,
yeah,
not a bemoaning our departed fur baby podcast.
right. So
Oh,
let me actually talk about something new I've been trying out this week.
yeah.
So I have still been playing Monster Hunter Rise, but
Mm-hmm.
my hands have literally started going numb playing it in handheld mode with how you have to hold the
Oh,
Switch.
okay.
Okay, so I finally invested in the Hori Switch Pad Pro,
Oh, okay.
uh, and I absolutely love this thing. So there are sacrifices with it. It does not have Rumble,
Okay.
um, but it's not made by Nintendo, but it is Nintendo licensed.
Okay.
Um, it is the most comfortable thing. I wish every Joy-Con felt this way.
How much did you have to invest in that guy there?
$45.
That's not bad.
Mm-mm.
Uh, Luckily, it seems that third-party controllers have gone up in quality ever since Mad Catz died.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because Mad Catz were the king of crap. Me and Doug went through two Super Pad 64s, and both the Z button, the trigger just got stuck in the system. So, and the thing was like the Duke from the original Xbox controller. It was big. You had to have like Goro's hands to, functionally wield this controller.
Right.
And it was
uh,
Mad. I think it was Mad Catz, but everybody had a Mad Catz controller, and it always went to the one. There was always that friend that your parents made you invite to your birthday party. That kid got that one.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
had I had a gray, a blue, and it wasn't green. Was it black and 64 controller? And then I had a Mad Catz.
Oh. Oh. Wow. Oh, Mad Catz. What were you thinking?
You were the worst.
The kings of crap.
Mm-hmm.
And
Um,
there was a lot of stuff, that has kind of just vanished just because the technology has changed too. But also, when it comes to gaming, though, people usually want quality, and we still get shovelware games, though, of course. But I would say that kind of seemed to have peaked in the Wii days and has gone
mm-hmm.
slowly downhill since there. But we used to have Game Genie and Game Shark and
Mm-hmm.
Pro Action Replay, and there was Bleem, which was a program that allowed you to play PlayStation games on your computer. And they were trying to make Bleem Cast, which was a version that allowed you to play PlayStation games on your Dreamcast. And they were sued into oblivion. That's what happened to them. But then what was even stranger, though, is that in the 80s, the early 80s, when it was, Magnavox Odyssey and ColecoVision and Atari, some companies actually made devices so you could play the opposing company's cartridge on your console. So it was literally a device and slot it in. It was like a Game Genie or Sonic and Knuckles, where basically you plug it in and then plug the other cartridge on top. Now you can play it. You can play your Magnavox Odyssey game on your Atari 2600. Or it was one of those. I don't know. I don't remember which way it was, but luckily we seem to have gotten away from some of these rock solid crap that we had. I I'm so glad we don't have to have all these accessories for the Switch so we can see the screen at night.
That is, I remember my first handheld was the Game Boy Color, and I
Mm-hmm.
got one of those. Went over it, magnifying screen with lights going down with speakers on the side.
Yep.
Yep.
I had one that went on the top and then hinged down, kind of like almost like a big plastic wallet. And you open that thing up, and then it had separate batteries for it. And then there was also one that it was called the worm light, and you plugged it in the
Oh,
side,
yep.
and it
Mm-hmm.
stuck part of your batteries out.
Yep.
Yep.
I still say the biggest jump in handhelds was the Game Boy Advance SP. That went from using
Yes.
batteries and no backlight or to
Mm-hmm.
being lit up with a rechargeable battery. Ah,
Mm-hmm.
chef kiss. That was the best.
I just
Now,
remember one of the craziest things. I was the first time I had really seen a modded console, but it was that friend you had in high school. I think he went to the private Christian school or something. And
he went to another town's public school. I know
oh,
exactly what you're
okay,
talking
okay,
about. He
yeah, but he
modded his Game Boy
modded,
Advance.
yeah, to have lighting, and it's just I struggle with words out of a comic book at that age. How did you do this? And it's just so impressive, though, just how smart in some areas high schoolers can be. Which, trust me, I have learned, especially when I'm calling up one of my Rocket League players, to discuss 3D printing. So this happened. How do I fix this? Have you tried putting something sticky on the surface of the plate so when it gets stuck down, it stays? So you're saying my answer to this solution is a glue stick? Yep. Okay.
Cool.
Yep. I got plenty of those. Oh. What,
Oh,
what's going on? Oh, sorry. There's a Godzilla marathon on TV, and Gigan just exploded out of a space diamond.
nice.
Oh,
There,
wow.
there was one other news article that I wanted to go over with you tonight. Um,
Sure.
have you been keeping up with the Epic Apple lawsuit?
Not so much. I'm kind of rooting. I don't even know who I'm rooting for. I've paid so little attention to it. But
Okay.
isn't Epic trying to bypass Apple's pay system or something?
Yeah, they're basically saying that Apple has a monopoly where they have to take a 30% cut and they can't offer through third party stores purchases. They can't even put
Gotcha.
the link to it to a website on which
Okay.
I'm mixed feelings on this because this could be a slippery slope where anyone can develop games for any console. Nintendo could then say, "Hey, I'm going to develop games for the Xbox,"
Hmm.
and Xbox
Well, I
can't
don't.
stop me.
Yeah. Uh. Hmm. It, I don't know about I don't know. I've seen things like this before. Now, in some cases, though, no, clearly the technology is different. Basically, it sounds to me like Epic is tired of Apple taking a 30% cut out of every buck that they,
Yeah.
earn, which is understandable. If I were Apple, I would probably. What I would do is I've known companies that did basically like buy in programs. So they buy into the program, but then and this is usually in a situation like when I worked for the medical equipment company, a customer could buy in to the program, but then would get massive discounts on the product. Now, this clearly isn't the same thing because it is the seller on the platform, but I
Mhm.
would wonder if there would be like kind of system where they could work out like that, where like maybe Epic could pay Apple to be like a priority publisher or something like that, but then Apple gets a upfront payment, but then takes a much less
on the back
very
end.
insignificant. Exactly.
So this is a very deep and intricate conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I want to throw that part away right now. Okay. I want to read a conversation that happened in a courtroom, Dave. Okay. You're
Sounds
drinking
good.
something. Okay.
Sorry.
So we have an Apple attorney and Wessinger, which, hold on a second here. I want to see someone from Epic, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Apple attorney. We have in front of us a new set of images. And what is this screen showing? Wessinger responds, "This is your matchmaking lobby." The attorney. "And we have a large yellow banana here, don't we? In a tuxedo." Wessinger. "Yes, that is Peely." Attorney. "And that's Peely, did you say?" Wessinger. "Yes." And the attorney. "And in fact, in the tuxedo, he's known as Agent Peely, correct?" Wessinger. "That's correct." Attorney. "We thought it'd be better to go with the suit than the naked banana, since we are in federal court this morning." The Apple is trying to say that Epic allows porn and inappropriate material by having a naked banana.
Well, that's an attempt at an argument. It's a bad one.
So in fact, the Epic lawyer did cross-examination with Wessinger. The Epic attorney says,
cross-examined Agent Peely.
"A little bit of digression. We talked about Peely, our banana. Remember that?" Wessinger said, "I did." The Epic attorney. "And there might have been an implication that to show Peely without a suit would have been inappropriate. Do you recall that?" Wessinger said, "Yes, I do." The attorney. "Is there anything inappropriate about Peely without a suit?" Wessinger. "No, there is not." And the attorney. "If we could just put on the screen a picture of Peely, is there anything inappropriate about Peely without clothes?" "It's just a banana, ma'am."
Oh, wow! That is, chef kiss. That is something of beauty.
Oh, I love it when dumb things happen in court.
Oh, that is so flippin' stupid. My goodness.
And I'm even going to go as far as to say, the banana has clothes. It's called the peel. The peel.
Yeah. It's not like he's got
the banana doesn't have a banana hammock, okay?
It's not like he's got accurate banana genitalia or anything.
Right.
But even then, it would be like, who cares?
Yeah, no one's ever going to bring a banana to court and go, "Show me on the banana where he touched you." I think I broke Dave.
No, show me on the banana where he touched you. That's going to be one of our weird search results that YouTube kept track of.
So, so a little bit behind the scenes, guys. We track some of our stuff using YouTube Studio for all our YouTube posts. And I gotta say, there was something that was a little surprising to me. I'm actually pulling it up right now. So
this was fantastic. All because of a covert club that has cropped up in my town. This was amazing.
Yeah. Hold on a second here.
Got it pulled up?
I'm trying to find it again.
Oh. Beautiful. All I know is those people are so disappointed with that search result.
Okay, here it is. So this is the category of traffic source based off of YouTube search. So when you type in a YouTube search, this is where our podcasts have shown up. Okay. So of the ones that have shown up in YouTube searches, 25% have shown. Oh, hold on a second here. Let me go back. I've got to change it from last 28 days to lifetime.
But wasn't it? You were saying though that like the 25% is usually people searching for gaming podcasts.
Yeah, right. So the 12.4% of our overall traffic comes from YouTube searches. Okay.
Yeah.
5.3% of that 12.4 is Monster Hunter Rise.
Okay, so people search Monster Hunter Rise, found us.
Probably due to that Monster Hunter Rise episode I put up, the playthrough.
Yeah. And we did a whole one about Monster Hunter as well.
This is true. 2.6 comes from podcast gaming. Makes sense.
Yeah.
The other 2.6 comes from swingers. Another possible podcast title. 2.6% of our viewers are swingers.
Yeah, that's another one.
I was very surprised by that. Entertained, but surprised.
Oh, that's hysterical.
All right, Dave, we're about 46 minutes in here. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. No, nothing really that's cropped up this week gaming wise, I would say. I guess the only thing we haven't talked about what we've been playing this week yet. So I'm now fully into Devil May Cry 5. I've had, luckily with the school year winding down, I've had a lot of time to actually sit down and play the game. And so I'm discovering some of, the plot points that are supposedly like, it's spoiler territory. Like, the mystery behind, who this character is and stuff like that. So it's been great. It is funny though how much they are referencing some of their other stuff to remind you that, hey, Devil May Cry is back. We're using the original canon. Don't remember that DMC game that we tried to make for that reboot that no one asked for or wanted. Although it was a good game. I will say it was a good game. But, and even then, they could have just said a few things and just been like, this is the prequel to everything, and just changed a few things around. But, they didn't do that. And it's sad because there was actually a side character who I wouldn't mind seeing again, Kat. She was this like spunky punk girl who would make like magic spells and help Dante. And now we got a lot of cool characters like that now, and they introduced a new one in 5 named Nico, who is a cool character too. But I wouldn't mind seeing Kat yet again. But I'm really enjoying it now. I think there's 21 missions in the game, and I just got to number 13. I finally unlocked Dante in the game. They're really going for, Dante is the full powered up mode in the game, and Nero and V are the not so powered up ones. But that way, it's nice because then you don't have to have like a story arc of why Dante is depowered like Samus is, in every game. This time it's just, it was what incapacitated Dante that you couldn't play as him until this point. So that's nice. That's refreshing. And then when you get him, it's just like, oh, you're kicking the crap out of everything in that game. So nice. So nice. And so I'm really looking forward to hopefully finishing up here soon, because there are other games I do want to get to. I know Resident Evil 8 came out this past week. Actually, the week before this past week, I think. But I want to play it, but at the same time, I have not played 2 or 3, the remakes yet. So I'm going to play those first, and then then also, I prefer, just out of personal preference, I usually would play the Resident Evil games on either Nintendo or Xbox. And so I do want to get a Series X eventually, and I think I'll get Resident Evil 8 on that. So maybe I might just wait for the Game of the Year edition, which has all the DLC, which I know is coming. Oh, speaking of Xboxes, it was something crazy today in
Yeah.
Walmart. I was doing my grocery shopping. They had 2 Series S's in stock.
Wow.
So I was like, oh. And then my lizard brain kicked in. And I absolutely do not want a Series S though, because I am a physical guy. Although sounds like Sony is going to drive me nuts with that here again, because apparently, yeah, you know that thing that's going to make your PlayStation 4 not going to play your games. They did the same stupid thing in the PlayStation 5. So, well, at least I've bought myself more time by buying the PlayStation 5. Microsoft doesn't do this, so yay, you're my good buddy, Microsoft. But but I do prefer physical games, because even then, if something breaks or something, one, I'm sure the internet will find a workaround, and two, I could then at least always play vanilla. So,
Right.
but my lizard brain kicks in and it goes, I wonder how much we could resell this guy for. So, isn't the Series S going for is that selling for 400? Is that the price?
300 new.
300 new. Okay. That's what I thought. I couldn't remember. So it's 300 new. So I hopped on eBay. You can definitely tell that people are considering that like the dork version of the system, because that thing is not selling for hardly any above retail. Basically, the best I saw was someone sold one for $350 with free shipping. So that means the eBay cut and all of the shipping is coming out of that extra $50. So, and then one had been sold for 230. They had put it on auction, and I just was like, "Oh man, wow!" Get me some more of those X's. I would buy if they had one there today. I would have bought it on site, but no, this Series S. uh, like when the Xbox 360 came out, and then they included a model that didn't come with a hard drive. It was just, oh, this is so stupid.
Right.
Mhm.
All right, Dave. I want to share a trailer with you real fast here, okay?
Okay. Now, are we going to get like copyright something if we?
No. Nope.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. What am I watching? Oh,
Well,
jeez. I saw this in the discount bin at Walmart today. I almost picked it up, but I think what you keep talking about though is they're releasing like a super edition, so like the ultimate
yep.
edition.
Yep.
Okay,
Hold on.
listeners, we are looking at a Power Rangers Battle for the Grid official Chun-Li gameplay.
Yep.
Okay,
If I can
ready
get.
when you are.
I've got to reposition things here real fast.
All right. Now she is the Blue Phoenix Ranger or something?
Yep.
Oh, geez.
Oh, hold on. There we go.
Well, you can definitely tell who it is, but oh, that's hysterical. I love it. I would love though if one of her alternate outfits though was her classic outfit.
Oh, there is an alternate costume in here.
Oh, geez, what is it?
Oh, hold on. You'll see it in a second.
Oh, I will. Okay.
Yep. First off, though, this gameplay looks crazy.
Oh, hey. Oh, jeez.
Angel Grove class of 93.
That's great. Oh, hysterical. So, listeners, one of the things that also is weirding me out about this, though, is recently, within probably like the last 2 years, I have gotten into picking up the Shout Factory releases of Super Sentai, which is the unedited original Japanese series, which Power Rangers takes all of its Ranger and robot and monster footage from. So I have been watching those instead. So I have now watched the original Kyoryo Sentai Zyuranger, which is what the original Power Rangers was pulled from. So it is so weird now to just see the difference with how hacked up and pieced together that they made Power Rangers, and seeing like the characters when Zyuranger was really not a sci-fi series. It was a more like fantasy-based series.
Hmm.
So seeing like Zordon and the command center is really jarring to me because they really are not the same at all. It's
No.
just oh, it's so weird. It's like a distorted echo. Speaking of fighting games, so what's your opinion on the rumor that NetherRealm is possibly working on something Marvel related, and the thoughts that it actually might be a Marvel versus DC game?
Um, it's bittersweet. On the one hand, I know NetherRealm Studios does a fantastic job with fighting games. I have never been dissatisfied since they've become NetherRealm Studios. But at the same time, I feel like if that happens, that means Marvel versus Capcom is truly dead.
Mm. Yeah, well, it would say to me though that NetherRealm has the license now, but I don't think that Marvel versus Capcom would ever truly be dead. I just think Marvel, now that they're owned by Disney, was just pretty disappointed with how Infinite did. And but I would place the blame for that on, Capcom themselves. They made some really odd decisions with that game,
Hmm.
and it just left a bittersweet taste in a lot of fans' mouths. So they've really got no one to blame but themselves. If I were them, though, I would start looking into maybe some of other options for Versus series, because the Capcom Versus series has had some. It's never been just Capcom. I mean, we had Capcom
Hmm.
versus SNK, and I know, I believe SNK has been saying, "Yeah, we'd love to,
Yeah, they're playing
work and
friendly
help make."
again.
Yeah, that we'd love to do three. Let's count to three. We can
Uh,
do better than Valve.
Tatsunoko versus Capcom.
That was a great one too. It was a bit more
Hmm.
simplified, but it was a wonderful fighter for the Wii. The
Oh
the
yeah,
Wii, the Wii had a fighting game that was really good, actually.
exclusive. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Also, I mean, they've worked with Net. And for some reason, Street Fighter Cross Tekken was the name, but they also had those like strange RPG ones that were like Japan only. And I think they now have like a spiritual successor in like the Project X Zone games, which take from everybody. It is Capcom, Namco, and Sega. They're not fighters, but good God of the design. And then in the sequel, Nintendo was like, yeah, you can use a couple characters for this that we think is appropriate. So you could get Lucina, Crom, and then Fiona from Xenoblade Chronicles.
So, perfect universe. Who would you like to see a Capcom versus game with?
Um, well, a Capcom versus game with it. Hmm. Well, that's a good question. I'm kind of looking around the room. Capcom typically seen, aside from Marvel, which at the same time though they kind of took those characters and then gave them a very kind of anime aesthetic
Hmm.
for those games. And hmm, I'm trying to think of like what company. Um, I would just love to see some of their like classic franchises come back that they just left kind of dormant.
Like Darkstalkers?
Yeah, Darkstalkers is one of my favorites. That's a happy gaming memory that we'll have to talk about on a future podcast when we can get more folks in. We've been wanting to revisit the lost episode of Syrup Shots, and we were trying to do so tonight, but unfortunately, children were the problem tonight. Children were the problem. We wish our Syrup Shots gaming members that are parents well, but uh, sometimes kids just don't want to go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Especially infants.
oh yes, I'm just. I wouldn't mind actually seeing them go up against like another anime series company again. That would be kind of cool. Like if you could get like Capcom versus Gynax,
Oh, okay.
that would be pretty interesting. Real quick, I know Evangelion and isn't Fooly Cooley also one of theirs
I
as
believe
well?
so. I mean,
Yeah, hold on.
you could get some weird ones like Katakano.
Oh yeah. Um, I'm looking up their filmography right now. Nadia, Secret of the Blue Water,
Oh yeah.
Evangelion. Uh, oh, that series sucked. No, don't use that one.
What series?
Maharo Meta. Yes, they do have Gurren Lagann.
Oh, nice.
That would be amazing. Panty and
Mm-hmm.
Stocking with Garter Belt. I have not seen that one, but I do know that that is a very popular series. Films. Let's see. Cutie Honey. Yes, yes. Put Cutie Honey in that game. That would be amazing.
Oh,
Appleseed. Remember, I showed you guys that on a anime movie night we had.
Appleseed. Oh yes. With the
Yeah.
like Spider Mech.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, we watched the remake, but yes, they did the original 1988 film. And Fooly Cooley, yes, it's in there.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got a couple other. Kashan, Robot Hunter would be cool. Oh wait, no, he's Tats. Never mind.
Uh,
Apparently, they did the animation for one of those.
See, for
Yeah,
me, sorry. Go ahead.
no, just something like that would be fun. I think.
I think you'd really gel with my theory then. I
Yeah.
would absolutely love to see a Capcom versus Arc Systems work game.
Ooh, that would be good.
Because you would then get Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, Under Night in Birth, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, and
That would be good.
that's just oh.
Mm-hmm.
I would, and then I would love to see a Arc System Works versus Capcom, where it runs
Mm-hmm.
on a Arc Systems Work engine, where Arc System Works makes the
Mm-hmm.
game. So at least one of them would be good.
Mean.
Hey, Street Fighter V was a bust when it came out. Marvel vs.
Mm-hmm.
Capcom Infinite was a bust when it came out.
Yeah.
Their fighting game, the Capcom's fighting game department, needs to follow suit with the rest of Capcom. The rest of Capcom has been banging it recently. There, you've got your Monster Hunter, your Resident Evil, your Devil May Cry. They have just been banger after banger after banger, But their fighting games, what they used to be known for.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there necessarily. I know that the guy who has been in charge, Yoshinori Ono, has now left the company. And Street Fighter V, they did, take a step back. They really, started working on pushing the content, and now it is good. It's a good game, but yeah, it had a really rough start. It did.
Ooh, really rough.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that Street Fighter 6 or whatever iteration that takes, it kind of goes back to the drawing board. So that leads me to an interesting question for you, Dave. I have a fighting game question for you.
Yeah,
Which
sure.
Street Fighter is the best Street Fighter?
Oh, hmm. I would say now it was hard as heck. I still have a nice soft spot in my heart for the classic 2D animated Street Fighters because there was a style to that. I would love to see like a redrawn version, like you know how they did that Super Street Fighter 2 HD version.
Or Ultra
But
Street
I
Fighter
like,
2 for the Switch.
yeah, I would love to see the Alpha series
Ah,
do that. Yeah. Actually, I think one of my favorite PSP games is it was like the definitive edition of Street Fighter Alpha. Now, mind you, as I said, the game was hard as heck at times,
oh yeah,
especially in the final boss against M. Bison. It's just like, just kill me now. But that seems to be part of the course for Street Fighter bosses. Um,
right.
yeah. Uh, but you know, it had like a lot of characters that were really great, and then this final version for the PSP added just a couple that I was just like, really, wow, that is amazing. I never. They added Eagle from the first game,
Hmm.
so you know he was back, and then it added Ingrid, who was a one-off character who was in like that Capcom Fighting Evolution game, which was one of the laziest games they ever made. They created like one new character and a set of sprites, and then everything else was just recycled material from old games.
I
So
actually saw a video about that recently. It was hot garbage.
I have that hot garbage on the Xbox. Yes, yes, it is hot garbage. Uh, but it had its charms because I'm just sitting there like, well, we have Darkstalkers in here. I'm not going to complain. Uh, but I really liked Alpha series is the one I would say was my favorite. Oh, and the point I was making with that Capcom Fighting Evolution, they had that character Ingrid. She was made specifically for that game because she was going to be in like another one of their games, and the game ended up being canceled. But they thought she was cool enough; they didn't want to leave her on the cutting room floor. So you know they put her in that, and then they're also like, well, now we got this cool character on this one-time crossover game, which did not get received well. No, she's part of the Street Fighter universe, always was. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna go with that. Okay.
I was trying to look here. Evidently, she's been one of the talked about DLC characters for Street Fighter V as well.
That would not surprise me.
It would surprise me at this point because they've announced most of the last DLC characters.
Except the last one, right? They're still
Right.
trying to keep that one a secret.
I have a theory on that one.
Okay, I'm
I
listening.
th- I think it's an SNK character.
Really? Oh, that would be cool.
I think that's going to be their bridge into Capcom versus SNK 3.
Okay.
Mark of the Post Pandemic. That'll be the title.
Nice. I
You
like it.
see, for me, visual wise, I'd actually have to go with Street Fighter 3.
Mm. Those were pretty nice. Those were.
That was like the smoothest looking 2D fighter, sprite based fighter I have ever seen. Now,
Mm-hmm.
that game was hard as balls.
Yes.
Does that need to be
Yes.
censored?
No, we've said balls plenty of times on the podcast before.
Balls.
Uncensored. Balls. Yes.
We're talking about the drink, right?
Exactly. BAWLS.
WLS,
Yeah,
yep.
Yeah, especially that final boss, Gil, isn't that?
You see,
he
I
could
only know
drink
him. I only know him as that beep 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 throw controller.
Yeah, he could go drink a big old case of balls. Yeah, no, but didn't he have that like resurrection move that like completely restored his health?
So interesting fact about that. Evidently,
Yes.
you can disrupt his resurrection, so it doesn't give him full health back.
Okay.
So that was part of the trick with him is you couldn't let your guard down, you had to keep attacking. Because
I
I only beat him
gotcha.
once. I only beat him once, and then he regenerated, and I was like, done.
Yep.
Nope.
That is so par of the course for Street Fighter final bosses, though. I couldn't even believe how hard Seth was in Street Fighter 4. It got to the point though that it was like I could beat the first match, but then like the computer was just like, "Oh, he beat us the first time. Well, he's never gonna beat us the second time." And then he would just clobber me in match 2 and 3. So I finally just set it on only being 1 round matches, so I could actually see some ending cutscenes and get some
Right.
trophies.
I still say though
Uh,
that the one game that has the worst AI to fight against
uh,
is the Mortal Kombat 3 games, because they have flat out admitted that
yeah.
their AI was reading your inputs.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Yeah,
knew
and
what
some
you entered.
characters,
Yeah.
yeah, were worse than others. Like trying to fight Jade in that game, he's just if you see her crop up, you're just like, oh, well, we're done.
Jade
Yep.
and Cabal were the two for me.
Yep. No fun.
No es bueno.
Nope. 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 Oh, what else?
Um, trying to think if there's any. Oh, there's one other game I've been playing
Mm-hmm.
because I got this SwitchPad Pro and I actually have
Mm-hmm.
a D-pad.
Oh.
Um, I have jumped back into Hollow Knight.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever played Hollow
So
Knight?
I hear it. Yeah, it's 2-dimensional Dark Souls, right?
Two-dimensional Dark Souls crossed with a Metroidvania.
Okay.
It is creepy. It is hard, but it never feels unfair. And
Okay.
and unlike a Bloodborne or Dark Souls games, it has responsive controls, so I actually feel like I'm in control of my character.
Yeah, see, the thing, you keep saying that you feel like those games have unresponsive controls, whereas I'm like, I thought they did have responsive controls. So, I mean, I was able to beat Bloodborne. Also, I will admit, Bloodborne was giving me severe anxiety at times because at the time, uh, I was gainfully unemployed and I have to have medicines that allow me to be a functioning adult at times. Like most people.
Me
Uh,
too.
Yay! So, but at the same time, they were costing me a pretty penny. So I got to talking to my doctor to just see, hey, is there like another alternative that we could look at? Something that's not going to, cost me an arm and a leg when I have no money coming in. So, so he was like, yeah, we can do that. And so we looked into this other drug. I forget its name. I was on it for probably like 2 months and it did not work. It was just flat out
Mm.
not working. It was not doing what it's supposed to. It sucked. And so, uh, and I have panic disorder. That is my issue, and I have no problem talking about it. I'm trying to end the stigma. People, oh, Dave, Dave's freaking crazy. Yeah, I am, and so is everybody else. That's the problem. And so, but Bloodborne, when I'm not taking my proper meds, was triggering
Ugh.
my stressors for panic disorder. And it's
Yeah.
just like, so I eventually managed to, I beat the game, but I'll put it this way. Also, I never was able to beat that, the old Hunters DLC. No,
Mm.
that was, oh, that was, I have so many words for it, none of which are pleasant and can be said on air. I beat the first boss on that, decided I hate this, and then promptly went to finish the game. But I also hear, though, it's just like, oh, but you missed the hardest boss. Good. I'm glad. When I'm not having fun with the game anymore, usually that's time for me to go, this is not fun. This is stupid. I hate this. It's done. So, and that's one of the things about Devil May Cry 5 that I'm finding. And it's also one of those things that the games do this, and some games really can hook me in. You know, they fish hook me by the cheek and pull me in, but they have these
So,
challenges in there. You know, the challenges to get cool stuff, and some of them are crazy. So, Doom 2016 did this. You would get cool stuff by completing their challenge, and some of them were absolutely nuts. Like killing a certain number of enemies in the room, and you had like 5 seconds, but every time you killed an enemy, you would gain a like second or something to the time limit.
mhm.
I completed all of those. And in retrospect, it's just like, why did I do that? Those sucked. I was not having any fun. So Devil May Cry 5 is doing that. You can find secret missions in the levels in some of them. And completing them will give you cool stuff like health items or like your devil trigger, which is like your powered up mode
Right.
items. Yeah, it increases the meter for that. But some of them are like stay in the air juggling enemies for 15 seconds. I'm just like, nope.
Negative Ghost Rider.
Not going to do that. And some of them I tried, and it's just like it gets to a point, and I'm just like, I can't get past this. How am I doing in this game? Oh, I haven't died yet? Oh, well, who cares? But another one was like, get all the way to the end of the stage without touching the floor. So they have like these lamps that you can use like a grapple hook on, and then it would fling you. And then, but the thing is, there's another lamp or something that's floating in the air. But to activate, you got to shoot it and then grapple onto it. So it's just like fling, shoot, grapple, fling, shoot, grapple, fling, shoot. And you got to keep doing this. But then, like, the ground starts to get closer to you. So the amount you can fall gets progressively smaller and smaller as you get to the end. And it's just like, no, I'm not doing this no more. This is no fun. Yeah, so I didn't do it.
Fair. That would have been the best example for that for me would have been the Tower of 99 Challenges in Mortal Kombat 9,
Jeez.
where the final one, I never got this far, but the final one was with one life. You have to beat Goro, Kintaro, Melina, and Shao Kahn.
Isn't that how you got that stupid final costume for Melina?
Yes, the flesh pits. That's the word I was looking for.
The flesh pit. The sad mummy cosplay.
Yep. Because it was Shang Tsung's flesh pits.
Yes.
Which just sounds like the porno section in an old video store.
Yes. Wow. In like an old family owned video store or something.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, over here we got the children's section, and then we've got the flesh pit section, and then next to that is action and horror. Oh,
Well, Dave, I think this has been.
Okay,
Sorry, go ahead.
Now I do have a question for you though, because
Okay.
I know this because we've known each other a long time. I know your dad owned 2 video stores.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, it did not have that section.
Oh, that would have been hysterical. There were some videotapes though, because he was a video store owner in the VHS days, right? Yeah.
Yes.
But because I remember you pulled out some VHS tapes. Look at this crap, Oh, fun.
Yeah, I do remember it had a pretty robust horror section, and that's how I got introduced to Puppet Masters.
Wow.
I never watched it; I just saw
Nice.
the box. But
Great. Fun stuff.
mhm. Well,
I
Dave,
really didn't start getting into horror movies until I was probably about in high school, and now it's just like probably one of my favorite, genres. Oh well.
I'm still not huge on horror. I'll watch the occasional horror thing, but it's not really my jam.
Hmm. And it's weird also that how at the same time where my my mental issues were cropping up, that was the genre that I was getting into because my panic disorder is also triggered by a severe phobia of dying that I still have on occasion. It still crops up, but it's nowhere near as bad as it used to be. And then that's the topic I'm getting really interested in. Yes, let's watch this movie where people are murdered.
Well, you
By
know what though? I think part of it is it if you watch a fiction of it that's so outlandish, it makes it more outlandish for you.
that's a good one. It was cathartic.
Yeah,
There
exactly.
is, yeah, there is no way a dream monster is going to kill me. Uh,
Exactly. You know
okay,
what? There's no way a gremlin's gonna get into my automated chair and shoot me out the window.
that's Mrs. Deagle. Or a werewolf or a vampire, things like that.
Hmm.
And on the ones though where it's just like, oh, Jaws. Well, I just won't go in the water. Okay. I don't like the beach anyway, so that wasn't too bad. Dave, don't you want to come into the beach? Nah, I don't want sand halfway up my butt, and then there's also the giant monsters in the water. I'll stay here.
Yep.
uh,
Well, Dave, I think this has been a pretty good episode. We laughed.
yeah.
We talked about some serious stuff. We talked about naked bananas.
Yes, we did. I still say that's the episode title. Please show us on the banana where he touched you.
Yeah. I'll probably make it no one ever says, show me on the banana where he touched you.
Exactly. I wonder what search results we're going to fall under for that. Good gosh. Banana porn. Oh, no.
Hey, as long as we don't have a banana hammock with our banana, we're good.
Okay, yep. Hmm.
But
I get you.
you see what I did there.
Yes, now I'm just imagining how would a banana wear a banana hammock. Never mind. Just the places my brain goes to.
Yep. I imagine it'd be on the very end, like that black part of the banana.
Yes. If you pulled up on it, would have split the banana in half. It'd be
Yeah.
a banana split.
Aha.
Yeah.
Well,
Whackity schmackity do.
thank you, Patton Oswald.
Yes.
Well, guys, until next time, be safe, be kind, dress your bananas, bottoms up.